Welcome here. This is the first show on the Futon, live in Allegheny Hall, room 102. My name is Spencer McKircher, a sophomore at Westchester University. I'm joined by three lovely young men. We are talking sports. That's what we're going to do here on this show to start things off. I'll let the rest of the boys introduce themselves, starting with the man to my right.
Yes, I'm John Schumacher, also a sophomore here at Westchester. Looking forward to talking to you guys today.
I'm Logan Warner. I'm also a sophomore at Westchester. Really looking forward to doing this.
What's up, guys? I'm Will, roommates of the two previous gentlemen, and let's get this thing rolling.
Alrighty, guys. So the first topic of today, news came out today around 2 o'clock, coming from Cleveland. The Browns are going to start Johnny Manziel tomorrow night against the undefeated Cincinnati Bengals. Let's talk about it. Patine said that depending on how well Manziel does, he's looking to start him off as a starter here. So what do you guys think?
Excited. Obviously Johnny Football brings a lot to the NFL. He was a dynamic player in college. So, going up against a great defense, they performed well last week against Pittsburgh. So, it's going to be exciting. I mean, I think every NFL fan should be excited to see what's going on. I think the Browns are in the right decision. It's like McCown is doing much. What do you boys think?
I think when fans want to see it more than maybe it's right to do.
Yeah.
Johnny Football is like the number one fan player.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I mean, you're the Cleveland Browns. What do you really got to lose? I mean, the fans, like Logan said, the fans want it. Give the fans what they want.
Yep.
It's excitement back in Cleveland.
Yeah, what's Cleveland 1-6 this year? I think.
1-6. I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm more excited to see Travis Benjamin and how well that they just performed together. Manziel's two previous starts when McCown went out, I guess what was it, week 2 against the Jets on that vicious hit when he got launched in the end zone. I think Benjamin's going to score a lot of fantasy points for a lot of fantasy owners this weekend, but I know that he's not really picked up on a lot of fantasies. He's a free agent in most of the ESPN leagues. So, I mean, it's going to be definitely exciting tomorrow night. Browns kind of playing in a prime time, and who knows, they could upset. Is that game in? It's in Cincinnati.
In Cincy. What are the predictions? What are we thinking? We think it's going to be enough.
Definitely not.
Yeah, same here. I think obviously divisional games are always tough, but this Browns team just isn't near as good overall as this Bengals team. I think they are for real this year. So
yeah, Cincinnati sell it all around. Don't make too many mistakes.
Yep.
I definitely think they're going to lose at some point, though. There's not a chance. I mean, and who knows if it's the Cincinnati Bengals. And who knows what they're going to accomplish here for the rest of the year. If Andy Dalton really is for real, he can try to. We'll see how he does in the playoffs. I mean, we can pretty much put them in the playoff race. They're going to win the North. I don't think any. Sad to say that my Steelers, I don't think will do anything in the North now, especially after losing last week to Cincinnati, but we shall see.
I mean,
Bengals go down too.
Yeah, big.
Bengals have some tough games too, man. After Cardinals, Rams, Steelers again, always tough, and then Broncos and Ravens at the end of the season. So definitely some losable games for sure. So I don't see them being undefeated at the end of the year.
Definitely not.
We got next.
I mean, we could talk about those undefeated teams. Let's talk. I guess we could talk about Carolina Panthers in the big game this week. Green Bay at Carolina, correct?
Correct.
Huge game for Carolina, I think, more if they really are for real. I mean, the Monday night game squeaked one out against a up and down Indianapolis team. What are we thinking?
For the Carolina game?
Yeah.
I picked the Packers in a little bracket we're doing, so I don't know. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has not played well last couple of weeks. I think this is his game. I think he's going to go in there against a tough D.
Very tough defense.
And I think that the Carolina's got to lose. I mean, it's got to happen. I feel like this game. I thought they're going to lose a couple weeks ago with some other games too. So we'll see. But I think the Packers will go in there and win. That's my honest opinion.
I mean, I think it'd be a defining win for Carolina. I mean, they're talking about Cam having an MVP caliber year, but I mean, I don't think his numbers are off the charts, but he's just managing that team very well, kind of reminiscent of Russell Wilson a couple years ago. I mean, that scares me at the same time. Very similar to the Seahawks. I feel like they can make a run late in the season.
about it.
Logan?
I'm just trying to see if the Carolina corners let up a touchdown yet this year. And then going into last week, there's no touchdowns against him yet.
No, I do.
I thought he was the number 1 rated corner.
Looking at this, and I know our good friend Skip Bayless said something about it today that it's kind of surprising that these Chargers, looking at these stats, man, San Diego is leading the league in total offense. Phillip Rivers is leading the league in yards, and they're just bad, though. They're so bad. Even in passing. Yeah, they're beating the Patriots in every category. It's pretty nuts. Carolina leading the league in rushing, though, against a very good. Let's see what Green Bay against the run.
Was Carolina's
25th. Green Bay 25th against the run this year. Definitely allowing 124 yards a game rushing compared to Carolina, who's leading the league in rushing with 144 yards. So I think that's going to be definitely the key of the game is if Green Bay 25th ranked in running and rushing defense, and then seeing if Carolina, who leads the league in rushing, if they can just continue that success.
Yeah, another note on Carolina there. On Monday night, they extended their regular season win streak to 11 consecutive games. I mean, I don't know if that's something to look at.
It's great.
It's got Green Bay's turnover margins third in the NFL right now at +7, and Carolina's is fourth at +5. But the Packers have turned the ball over only 4 times, and the Panthers have turned it over 11 times.
Might be the key.
Yeah.
And those big backs for Carolina that just eat up yards, eat up men. I mean, we were watching the Eagles game a couple weeks ago. That was just huge men, and that offensive line solid. So, really tough team to go in there and beat, but be a fun game to watch.
It's gonna be a great game
on
to watch.
Sunday for sure.
If Jonathan, if Stewart can run over everyone, and then they bring in Tolbert in there. I mean, who knows what could happen? Tolbert that goal line back. Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? So we'll switch topics here. We'll talk about the big reports. So we got half the guys on the Futon here, Eagles fans. And the big speculation right now is Colin Kaepernick after just getting benched. Very surprising, to be honest. I don't really get it. I mean, I do get it, but I don't think Blaine Gabbert's your answer right now. I think their brand new head coach, can't think of the name offhand. Just desperate, fully desperate, not playing well. I know Will read a stat earlier today that was very shocking. Will, do you have that by chance?
Yeah, give me a second here. I'll pull it up.
Definitely interesting. Kaepernick having a great year, to be honest, and it might not seem like it. All the media is going after him and stuff, but still having a heck of a year. And compared to Cam Newton's numbers, which is likely right now, arguably the NFC MVP. And Will, good.
Yeah, there were as we mentioned, Cam Newton before having what some would say an MVP caliber season, but realistically, his numbers are very similar to Colin Kaepernick. Completion rate, Kaepernick's is actually 5% higher at 59%. Pass yards basically identical. Cam does have 5 more touchdowns, but he also has 3 more interceptions than Kaepernick. The big difference here is Kaepernick's been sacked far too many times, over double what Cam Newton has, and I feel like that's one of Kaepernick's faults. He doesn't make quick decisions in the passing game, and I feel that's why he's struggling, and that's why they went to Gabbert and kind of changed the tides there. But if we're talking Kaepernick to the Eagles, what do you guys take on that?
Oh yeah.
Well, I know Will and Spence both claimed to have called this a while ago, and I think they both did. I mean, he'd be a good fit, no doubt about it. But is what the team's missing? I don't know. And will Chip make the move after he just made big news getting his quarterback this offseason? It's going to be very interesting. I'm sure speculation's still going to be fun.
Quotes around his quarterback.
Exactly. So
I feel like with desperate Eagles fans, they're kind of just looking for something to grab hope on. I mean, I feel like it'd be a very exciting move for Kaepernick to the Eagles. Could he bring a Super Bowl to Philadelphia? I feel like that's left to be seen in his performance this year, but just a lot of negativity on the Eagles fan base right now, and just kind of looking for something to raise their spirits, some more excitement.
Yep. Going back to, I got Cap's stats of his last 4 games, he hasn't thrown an interception. He had 4 against the Cardinals, though, which is pretty much what put him up there in the season total. But his last 2 games, he went against the Rams and the Seahawks defense, which are both very tough.
You got your 6th best defense and your 2nd best defense in the league.
So no interceptions against them, which is a plus. Didn't throw for many yards at all, only a little over 100 in each. But the 2 games before that, the Ravens and Giants, he posted QBRs above 100, throwing 2 touchdown passes in each. So it's kind of, he didn't do well against those 2 great defenses, but it's not like he was giving those games away. He was still competing as most people would have been.
And I guess that's what many would say right now is Bradford's biggest downside is all his turnovers.
No doubt.
Breaking news: Porzingis.
Oh my God. We're currently
yesterday too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Currently watching the Knicks-Cavs game in the background here, and Porzingis just threw down a massive putback slam.
Porzingis maybe the dark horse for NBA Rookie of the
What
Year.
a pick!
Huge.
What a pick from those Knicks, huh?
So heading back, my opinion, I think Kaepernick in that offense would be perfect. That's what we said. Colin Kaepernick, everyone has said it, does not seem to be wanting to play football in San Francisco anymore. I think he loved Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh was the answer there. And when he just left, he just kind of gave up. And you can see it. You can see when he's playing. He's not motivated. His offensive line stinks. And they're just not getting what they need out of him because I just feel like the motivation is not there. And I think him in the Eagles offense, people were saying, well, he still can't throw the ball, blah, blah, blah. But in that Eagles offense, well, Chip Kelly's offense, you need short passing, you need a running, you need a mobile quarterback. And I honestly think he'd be a perfect fit. And I also think that DeMarco Murray is not the answer in Philadelphia. Yeah, I think Ryan Matthews is the much better option here for a running back in Philadelphia.
Spence, I'm going to have to 100% agree with that. If I'm Chip Kelly right now, I'm looking for Kaepernick in the offseason. Phil Bradford has proven that he will not be the answer. Even if he can play mediocre, he's not going to bring Super Bowl to Philadelphia, which is what our fans are desperately seeking at the moment. And I feel like Kaepernick could be that spark. I mean, we saw with San Fran, he can just catch fire and get him rolling.
Piggybacking off of that, Will, you mentioned mobile quarterback, Spence, too. For a while, I thought once they got Sam Bradford, the Eagles, I think I convinced myself that, hey, they don't need a mobile quarterback for this offense. Nick Foles ran it. But Nick Foles was more mobile than Sam Bradford is back there, and I think Kaepernick would bring a whole different element, kind of like, a la Mike Vick a couple years ago. As far as DeMarco and Ryan, I think they honestly could work well together, but I think the Eagles got to run the ball more. Yeah, no doubt. They have to. It's a run-first offense, and then they'll take more pressure off Sam. So it'll be very interesting to see off a bye week. Can Chip work some magic at this team rolling?
In Dallas, too.
In Dallas, and in a terrible NFC East that they could easily steal if they still played above-average ball. So it's going to be interesting.
We did talk about this. This is a little. We're halfway through the season, getting there. I still think that whoever wins that division, 9-7, 8-8, and it's kind of like very scarily, if you want to say something like that, that this is looking like 2007 all over again, where there's not a team in the NFC East, and the Patriots are undefeated. And I know this is kind of the big, bold prediction of the year so far, but who knows? The Giants win that division. They get hot in the playoffs again. And who knows? We could have another rematch. Giants-Patriots again. And who knows? New England looks like they are the dominant team in the NFC. Brady's just unstoppable this year. I hate to say it, but I still think the Pats are going to easily make their way to the Super Bowl. I don't think anyone in the AFC can really stop them besides those Pittsburgh Steelers. But
let's piggyback off that. Let's do some predictions. Either just Super Bowl prediction, or we could do division by division. Like, what do you think? Just right now, as we're about halfway point, Week 9 coming up here this weekend.
You want to go a Super Bowl matchup? Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do it. Off of what we've seen.
Start off, Jan.
Off of what I've seen, man. I'll tell you this much. Beginning of the year, I was Colts Packers. Let's get this job done. Colts have since falling off a cliff. Andrew Luck looks lost. Chuck
Well,
Pagano making stupid decisions.
That's the thing. So they just fired who? They just fired someone.
Pep Hamilton, their
Yeah.
offensive coordinator.
Yeah, and there's been reports that Luck's been playing with broken ribs since week 2, week 3. So who knows? But
that mess in Indy, right? But so I'm gonna substitute them with the Patriots right now. I mean, how do you not? This team's scary looking. Like you said, reminiscent of 2007. Brady's playing out of his mind. I could see him going 16-0, and I could see him rolling through the playoffs. So I see them in the Super Bowl. NFC, man, is up in the air. The West could go to anybody. Still the Seahawks, in my opinion. The East is a mess. The South is Carolina and Atlanta look solid. Carolina especially, and then the North you got the Pack. So I'll still go with the Packers in the Super Bowl, and I'm picking to win if it's that matchup right now. This is off of what I'm seeing. I've seen the Packers going 13-3, maybe even 12-4, but still being a number 1 seed or number 2 seed in the NFC and win the Super Bowl. So that's my take on it.
I mean, I would definitely agree. I think looking at even the AFC, I've said this now for the last 2-3 weeks. My dark horse pick is Oakland squeaking their way in there to the playoffs as that 6th wild card team. And I can also see the Steelers sneaking their way in there, depending how well Ben plays and how well D'Angelo can back up Bell with him being out now for the rest of the year. I think that the only really true test that will be for the Patriots is the Broncos and even the Steelers. But I think the Pats are going to easily get there. But the NFC East, I'm gonna go bold here. I'm gonna go Carolina. I think that just watching them, I know their first 4 or 5 games, you could argue that they didn't play anybody. They played some scrub teams, but watching that team and them being on prime time, like 2 of the past 3 weeks, and everyone's seen this team. They're for real. And people keep forgetting. Well, Cam's best option last year hasn't played it down yet this year because of torn ACL. That Kelvin Benjamin. So who knows? Cam's been getting it done with barely any wide receiver help. And who knows? But I still think this team, I think it's a team of destiny. And I think, don't get me wrong, they'll probably finish season 13-3, but I can see them just beating the Pack, and especially on the matchup this week. And who knows? But yeah.
Just like the Seahawks, right? Like
Yeah,
what I was
exactly.
saying, reminiscent of the Seahawks a couple years ago.
AFC, I definitely got to go Patriots. Just the way they're playing right now, I think their only downfall could be their defense if that doesn't hold up. But I think come playoff time, Belichick's going to coach them up and they'll be fine. I don't know. NFC's kind of toss up until last week. I think the Packers were my number 1 pick, but seeing the way they played, I know it was only 1 game against the number 1 rated defense, but still, big game. I mean, I can even see Seahawks Cardinals out of the West coming and being contenders out of that division. I think my pick right now is still going to have to stay with the Packers, though. So I think it's going to be Packers and Patriots, and I think that's pretty much what everybody wants to, if you're a football fan, to see the number 1 and number 2 quarterback duke it out on the biggest stage.
Yeah, I'm going to have to – I like Spencer's picks. I mean, I'm going to have to agree with everybody with the Patriots. I think we all kind of feel it's their game or their Super Bowl to lose, not to get there. And going to NFC, I'm thinking if the Cowboys can pull out of that NFC East and get in the playoffs healthy, I feel like they could definitely make a run. With that being said, though, I feel like I'm going to have to go Panthers. Watching that game against the Philadelphia Eagles, I was thoroughly impressed. To me, they look like the most physical team in football. They can run the ball, and I feel physicality and the run game is what's going to win you playoff games. So I'm going to have the Patriots and Panthers, the same as Spencer, in the Super Bowl this year.
I dig it.